Hey everybody, it's Greg again. It's another edition of Unbreakable the podcast. It is Monday, May the 4th. May the 4th be with you and also with you. Star Wars Day. Da, 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 da. I like Star Wars. I'm not a fanatic. I'll be honest with you. I'm not a fanatic of Star Wars, but I like it. It's a lot of fun. I remember when the first Star Wars came out. That's how old I am. I remember people were crazy about it even then, and lining up the streets. Oh, the God. Star Wars, you know what? Star Wars was just word of mouth that, you know, nobody knew what to expect from Star Wars. But when it came out, 77-ish, yeah, it just word of mouth. People loved it. And it was they compared it a lot to the Wizard of Oz, believe it or not. I don't see it. But anyway, it, one, one word led to another, and people went to see it, and all of a sudden it just blossomed into this thing, like, oh, Star Wars this, Star Wars that. And then you had all the different, The Empire Strikes Back, and all the movies came out from them. So, but yeah, I watch it now, like the original. I was like, I get it. I kind of get it. It's basically the good versus the evil, you know? And it's like anything in life, good versus evil. So it was like, it was more cool. It was Star Wars was just cool. It is still good. In fact, I think there's a new movie coming out soon. The Mandalorian and something, Revelation. I don't know. They have all these new characters and Disney has any. Uh, so happy Star to all who observe. We got to talk about Philadelphia sports today. We've got to. What a weekend it was. Let's talk about the weekend first before we look ahead, especially to tonight. Well, the Flyers got off to a rough start in Carolina, getting shut out 3-0. And looking back on it, even the coach, Rick Tocchet, said, we didn't come out with enough fun. And you would think, why? I mean, it's a playoff. We got through to the second round. You're not motivated. You're not coming out with passion to do better. Keep going 1-1. You're not playing with house money, right? I mean, in a way you are, because you could say, well, not too many people expect the Flyers to even make the playoffs, let alone win a series. So even if it stopped down, the Flyers had a successful season. And I see them too. But you don't want to stop here. You want to keep going. But they came out really flat. And I think, you got to remember this Flyers team is a young team. And they're not like a veteran team that sort of takes the ebb and flow of the series. Don't get too high, don't get too low. You know what I mean? But this team, after beating the Penguins, what an emotional series that was, right? The Flyers finally put the rest, their nemesis, the Pittsburgh Penguins, and winning that big game at home. There was a lot of emotion. So I think the boys sort of carried that over a little bit, like uh still thinking about the Pittsburgh series. And it was great, but now it's time to turn the page. I should have seen it when we got into it. We got into a rested Carolina team, a more of a veteran Carolina team. The Carolina team that was first in the Eastern Conference this year, playing at home, which is a tough place to play. And they were just sitting there ready for the Flyers. The Hurricanes were more aggressive. The Flyers, they stink on their power play. But there's one thing the Flyers need to improve on this offseason, it's the power play. And Carolina's good. There were times they wouldn't even let the Flyers get a shot off in the power play. So, it was like the Flyers just went into this trap with a spider, you know? and then Carolina just jumping out to the lead, 2-0 lead. I mean, it's like climbing Mount Everest, really hard for a young team like that because Carolina had all the momentum with the home crowd and the rest, and it was just it was bad. So tonight Flyers get another chance. Tonight Flyers come out more aggressive, more focused. Forget about Pittsburgh. We're playing Carolina. If you're not focused on Carolina, you're going to get blown out again. And all of a sudden, you're going to be down 0-2 in this series before you even have a home game. So get your act together, boys. You're in the playoffs. You're in the second round, like it or not. Forget about what happened in the past. Get out there and play hockey. It's surprising to me because the Flyers played the Hurricanes 4 times this year. Hurricanes won 3 of them. But every game went to overtime. Every game. And it was either settled in overtime or settled in the shootout. So the Flyers, even though they lost 3 and 4, they played them really tough. They played them close. Playoffs are a whole different animal. No matter what sport you're playing, the playoffs are just a different animal. And the Flyers being kind of new to the playoffs, they haven't been in the playoffs in 6 years? It's looking back on it, 2020 hindsight vision. It's not surprising that Carolina ambushed them at home in game 1. Now, game 2 tonight, Flyers need to come out more aggressive. It would be great if the Flyers could jump ahead, put the pressure on Carolina. Because if you fall behind again, you're just battling uphill. The whole series, battling, right? Flyers got to come out aggressive, take the lead, and go from there. I still think the Flyers could win this series, believe it or not. I think the Flyers certainly could. They get a long, tough series. I mean, before this series started, I took the Flyers plus 2.5 games, which means win 2 games. I'm thinking the Flyers are definitely going to win 2 games. I was hoping they were going to split in Carolina, come back home. If not win those 2, then at least split at home. Those are 2 games, right? You go into game 5, tied 2-2. That's what I thought would happen. And it could still happen. So let's see what does happen today. Let's see if the boys are settled. Let's see if they're, at the same token, more aggressive. And, let's play a little harder. And I was surprised when Tocchet and some of the players even said, we're going to play harder. Well, you know what? You're in the freaking Stanley Cup playoffs. You can't play hard when you're in playoffs. When are you going to play hard, right? So I look for the Flyers to give a max effort today. I look for the Flyers to win. It's been low scoring. I say Flyers 3-2 to them. Flyers 3-2. And tie the series up 1-1, come back up. All right. Now we got the Sixers. Sixers, as much as I bash them all the time, deservedly so, I think, you got to give them credit when credit is due. The Sixers played hard, and they beat Boston up in Boston. Can you believe 7-game series? The Sixers actually took 3 games in Boston. 3 games in Boston. Boston isn't that good at home like they used to be. I mean, it helped that Jason Tatum was out for the game. That helped. So that certainly helped. And what was this Boston coach with this lineup, the starting lineup? All these guys never played together. You throw that garbage out there. And the Sixers got off to a good start. That was key. Sixers getting off to a good start. Because once again, game 7 in Boston, you let Boston get up 10, 15 points, you're going to get buried. You're going to get buried. So it was key. As it turned out, Boston coach screwed up. He panicked without Jason Tatum. and it cost them. And even though the Celtics caught up later in the game, Sixers, sometimes you use effort, so much effort and determination to catch up from like an 18-point deficit that you have nothing left to put yourself over the hump. And that's what happened to the Celtics. And I said before the series started, 3 point. If the Celtics are hitting their 3 pointers, you're not going to beat them because it's basic math. Even me, and I suck at math. I have my whole life. If it's Boston 3, Philadelphia shooting 2s, Boston's going to win. But luckily, Boston had another off night shooting 3s, especially when it counted, like in the fourth quarter. But give the Sixers credit. Joel Embiid, this is his chance to shine. As much you want to talk about him being lazy and always hurt and whatever. He played his heart out Saturday. He really did. I give him credit. And nobody can handle him. Nobody on the Celtics can handle him. When Embiid is healthy, you're talking about a 7'2", 300-pound man, a big man. And who is going to handle him? Especially the Eastern Conference. Yeah, the Cavaliers have their big guys, Mobley, Allen. Yeah, right. Pistons have Durant. Knicks, who we'll talk about in a minute, have Karl Anthony Towns. But really, when push comes to shove, Joel Embiid, when he's on his game and he's healthy, is better than all those guys. He just is. His thing is, he can't fall in love with shooting threes. And that's what he wasn't doing in game 6 when the Sixers won. He was doing it a little bit in game 7, and I thought, oh no, Celtics are going to catch up because Embiid falls in love with shooting threes, and all of a sudden, he's not that good at shooting threes. Celtics get the rebound. See, they missed Jason Tatum. Not only his scoring, his rebounding. Don't forget, in game 6, Tatum has 16 rebounds. Celtics missed on him. That's why I was really surprised when I heard that he was out for the game. I was like, what the hell was wrong with him? A big game 7? Mm-hmm. The Celtics fans are cocky, but they have reason to be cocky because they've won something. The Knicks fans are all of a sudden chirping now. Now we play the Knicks now. They haven't won anything. What are they so cocky about? These New York fans are delusional. Same with the Mets. The Mets haven't won anything since 1986, for God's sakes. The year after the original Back to the Future came out, that's when the Mets won something. And now they're chirping, they had one Good Morning America. If he even gets to 6 games, no. The Knicks haven't won anything. Stop the chirping. And it's going to be a very interesting series. Because, we'll talk about it. Because, there's a chance the Knicks could blow out the Sixers. They've done that before. And as Joel Embiid is pleading with our fans, don't sell your tickets. If you need money, I got you. That was Embiid was standing at the door handing out $20 bills to everybody, really? Although he probably couldn't do it. But, Knicks, they could blow people. I looked at blue, who they play? Whatever. They play, Atlanta Hawks. What frauds? Atlanta Hawks. At times, the Knicks were up by like 61 points when they clinched. Oh my God. That's ridiculous. In a playoff game, that's stupid. So the Knicks are hoity-toity. They're all full of themselves now. They're smelling themselves. But our shit doesn't stink. That's the Knicks. In reality, the Knicks haven't won a damn thing. Not a damn thing. I like a lot of the Knicks players. You know, you got a lot of your Villanova boys there. Jalen Brunson and Hart. And I'd love to have a lot of those players on my team. Uh, Mikal Bridges, right? Well, what have they won? When push comes to shove, Carl Anthony Towns, he whips out. I It's going to be an interesting series just between the battle between Towns and Embiid, if they're both healthy, especially Embiid. They've gone to war before. They can't stand each other. Oh, Embiid has talked about Carl Anthony Towns in post game interviews and stuff. They hate each other. And both can be Mr. Softy. You know, Carl Anthony Towns is the same way as Joel Embiid. He loves shooting the 3-pointers. Yeah. So that in itself is going to be an interesting sideline of the series. Who gets the better? Who gets the best of each other? Embiid or Towns? Then you got your Jalen Brunson and Maxson going. Edgecombe Bridges, right? There's so many great matchups. Josh Hart, look out for him. He always kills the Sixers, especially rebounding. Look out. Josh Hart. One weakness the Sixers definitely have, which they need to address during the offseason, is rebounding. Like I said, Sixers kind of got lucky in Game 7 in Boston because Jason Tatum was out of the game. Sixers have to clamp down. I don't know how they're going to do it tonight. Kelly Oubre needs to step it up. I don't know if he's a championship player. You know it? I don't know. Paul George, yeah, he's been playing well. But he's an old vet. He knows what it takes. Kelly Oubre, this he may be in over his head. Getting players, you know? He's a good player and he plays hard during the regular season. But what does he do in the playoffs? Look, Tobias Harris used to be play. What the hell is happening to Tobias Harris? He is great now for the Detroit Pistons. He scored over 30 points last night, yesterday when Detroit moved on over Orlando. Tobias Harris is waking it up. He's doing what we thought he would do when he was with the Sixers. Well, you know, Paul George is he's the same way. You know, he could have big games. But Kelly Oubre, I don't know. All I'm saying is Sixers must battle on the boards because they give the Knicks too many second chances. Knicks are going to kill them. Knicks are going to kill them. Too many second chance points. Too many offensive and defensive rebounds. I tell you, who could play a pivotal part in the series is Andre Drummond. You know, Embiid hopefully is going to play a lot of minutes this series because they need him. But when Embiid is off the court, Andre Drummond needs to step it up, and he needs to at least do his part as far as rebounding is concerned. So against Mitchell Robinson, the backup center for the Knicks, that's going to be an interesting battle off the bench. I think the Sixers could take this series. I really do. I actually have more faith in the Sixers beating the Knicks than I do in the Flyers coming back and beating the Hurricanes. Not that just because the Hurricanes are up 1-0. No, the Hurricanes are a veteran team. They know what it takes to win. Flyers, they're babies. They're babies. The Flyers are babies in the playoffs, and they're just getting their feet wet. If the Flyers win this series, that's great. But I really think the Sixers could really win this series. After beating Boston, they could beat the Knicks. There's no reason why they can't beat the Knicks. It's going to be a tough series. I think the series goes 6-7 games. You know, the line on the series is 5.5. So you either have to think it's going to be 5 games or less, or it's going to be 6 games or 7 games. I think it's going to be over. I can't see one of these teams sweeping the other. I just can't see that. And I think it's going to be a very even series, very even. And I think the Sixers could beat the Knicks. I really do. I don't think the Knicks are anything that special. Do you? I mean, think about it. The Boston and the Pistons were the really dominant teams in the East this year. Not the Knicks. The Knicks are okay. They're okay. But I just don't think the Knicks are anything that special. Now, they might prove me wrong starting tonight in New York, where all these people, Spike Lee will be there with his orange clothes, and in a celebrity row, Ben Stiller, and all these guys. My buddy, Michael J. Fox, will probably be up there. Michael Strahan. They'll all be there. They'll all be there. Stephen A. Smith. Oh, Jesus. Stephen A. Smith. Well, so much. He doesn't know. God. He picked the Celtics to beat the Sixers in their series. And he thinks he knows a lot, but he's just all mouth. All mouth. But he doesn't make it a secret that he's a loyal New York Knickerbocker fan. So I'm sure if he's not working tonight, I don't think he is. I think NBC is doing the game. NBC and Peacock are doing the game. I think you're going to see Stephen A. Smith regularly do it as a fan, as a big fan. It's disgusting. All right. So anyway, I think the Sixers could go up there and steal game #1. The Knicks haven't really been rested. They had to play over the weekend too, but they did cruise a little bit. I mean, winning by 50 freaking points. So I think it's going to be a battle. I think if the Sixers steal a game up in New York, I think it could be tonight. So you got that, and then you got the Phillies winding up their series in Miami. It's one of those rare wraparound series where the series doesn't end on Sunday, it ends on a Monday. 4-game series. And Phillies are 2-3 down there for the weekend. They're 5 out of 6 with the new manager now. Good. Sometimes just making a change helps, and it gets the players' attention. If they feel like, oh, I could be next. Hey, Coco buddy. Hi, buddy. And yeah. So I think it was a good thing. Nothing against Rob Thompson, but I think it was a good thing. That let's see what Don Mattingly can do for the rest of the season, right? I actually like the Marlins tonight because of the fact that they're making a 2-2 series, and I don't like Aaron Nola anymore. Oh, Jesus. He gives up too many home runs again, like usual. His ERA is like 6 something. I don't know. I don't like Aaron Nola. I don't trust him. I get the Taiwan Walker feeling about Aaron Nola anymore. And that's pretty bad. When you have a Taiwan Walker feeling about any pitcher, that's not good. That's not good. So I hope I'm wrong. I hope the Phillies win and end up taking 3 out of 4 because they have a pretty favorable schedule now. They have 3 at home then against the A's, although the A's are in first place out in the American League West. How about those A's? What? And then the Rockies over the weekend, Mother's Day weekend, the Rockies come in. But they're not playing big ball. So the Phillies could do some damage. And now, did you hear the news? Ronald Acuna Jr. hurt his hamstring yesterday. Whoa. So Atlanta's up, 10 games? But, people go down. Phillies get hot. You never know what can happen. This Acuna is a hell of a player, but he's getting hurt all the time. It's either the knees or hamstring or whatever, right? So when he's healthy, he's a great player, but he's not healthy. Big time, you know? And the Braves run red. They just got done in series out in Colorado. Down in Seattle too. That's not going to be easy, even though the Mariners aren't playing like they did last year. Tough to beat the Mariners out there. And now without Acuna, but we'll see what happens. So, Phillies could make up some ground in the next week or two. They really could. They can make up some ground. They just got to keep their nose to the grindstone, as they say, and play good ball. That's good to see Jesus Luzardo back yesterday. Big outing from the boy. He had 9 strikeouts, shut down his previous team, the Marlins, down in Miami. It was good to see Luzardo pitch well. And how about Ranger Suarez getting hurt again? Huh? Hurt his hamstring too. You know, I love Ranger Suarez, and I still wish the Phillies would have re-signed him. I do. But when you look back on it, Ranger gets hurt a lot, doesn't he? He missed a handful of starts last year. Either it's the hamstring or his back. I know he's had back problems. So, I don't know. But again, when he's healthy, Ranger is good. But that Boston team, what a disappointment. You know, let's talk about that for a second. Boston sports, huh? I'm going to send you on your way today with feeling good. Because Boston sports, wow, other than New York sports or Dallas, Boston sports are like the worst. But I tell you what, they're having their hard times. They always brag about all the championships they have with the Patriots, Red Sox, Bruins, Celtics. Well, they're falling on hard times up there being tailed. They're going to pop the cot at Fenway Park. Look at it. The Bruins and the Celtics get bumped out in playoffs the same weekend. The Red Sox are dead in last place in American League East, and they're all getting hurt up there. Wow. And that keeps up. I would be surprised if the Red Sox, they already changed their manager. They already cleaned house with their coaches and general manager. I guess the next thing they can do is start selling and trading away players. Give up on the season early, right? Sooner or later, it's going to happen. So the Red Sox are in last place, and the Patriots are an embarrassment with their head coach having this affair with this NFL reporter. I'm sure you talked about that. So, well, it's not such good times out there in Boston, is it? So I'm just saying, well, at least we have 2 of our teams in playoffs still. Phillies, okay, they're not doing too good, but they're not in last place. The sticking nuts are what? I tell you what, those cocky New Yorkers again. Don't be cocky about the Knicks, okay? The Rangers didn't make the playoffs. The Knicks haven't won anything, and you're okay. The Yankees are good. I'll give them that. The evil empire, the Yankees are good. But the Mets, oh, what a disappointment! Those people up there were thinking, Mets, Yankees World Series, blah, 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 right? Oh, the Mets are better than sliced bread. Yeah, right. The Mets, it could happen to the nicer franchise and a nicer fan base because they stink. And all that money the Mets have up there, you can't buy a championship, you can't buy a winner. Yep, you can't do it. Before long, they're going to have to start over too. They got Juan Soto up there. He stinks. Even if they signed Juan Soto, he's got his moments, but he's a dog. I didn't want him. You see how he lollygags in the field and base running. Half of the time he's jogging down to first base. He's been a dog for a long time. Yeah, he's a great player, and you'd like to have a Juan Soto on your team. But I tell you what, when the chips are down, Juan Soto's in the playoffs or something, Juan Soto is playing hard, and he comes up short too. Juan Soto is in like another James Harden, you know? James Harden, luckily, they won the game 7. The Cavaliers, that's where James Harden is. They won a game 7. So James Harden is like the worst game 7, isn't he? So, I don't like the Cavaliers. There's something about that team I just don't like. I don't know. I really, really think, my friends, if our 76ers get by the Knicks, it's not going to be easy, I really think the Sixers could go to the NBA Finals. Can you believe that? Can you believe I'm saying it? I can't believe it. And I'm not on drugs. I don't smoke the wacky weed. I am not a drinker. Sixers actually could go to the NBA Finals because if they get past the Knicks, they could beat the Cavaliers. Wouldn't that be interesting? Having James Harden go against the Sixers in the finals of the Eastern Conference playoffs? Really? But I don't know. There's something about that Cavalier team. You know, they're kind of desperate. They had to trade for James Harden and give up Garland, the young point guard. Really, they're that desperate. They don't know James Harden, when push comes to shove, is a dog. Ugh. Well, they're going to find him. The Pistons, if the Sixers play the Pistons are a good team. But they've been, they came back. They came back against Orlando, being down 3-2. And in game 6, Pistons were losing by 24 points. And to their credit, they came back and they beat the Magic. That's why I thought the Magic weren't going to win yesterday, game 7 in Cleveland, because the Magic had their chance in game 6, up 24 points at home, and they blew it. But there's something, the Pistons are too young too. They're like the Flyers. The Pistons are like the Flyers of basketball. Young, upcoming team, not ready. They're not ready. So again, if the Sixers can get by the Knicks, I think they have a hell of a chance to get to the finals. And we'll talk about the finals when we get there, because I think it's going to be the Thunder again. You can talk about what Wemby and the Lakers and all these other teams. Zaba. You got to beat the Thunder. Championship, no championship. They're still a hungry team. They play great defense. They still have SGA. The Thunder are awesome. So if push comes to shove and the Sixers play the Thunder in the playoffs, in the finals, wow. Of course I'd be rooting for the Sixers. It'd be like destiny. And Embiid finally gets his ring. But the fear of God would be in me, because Oklahoma City is good. They're really good. Really good. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, huh? Anyway, you know what? I gotta say this. Having our local teams in the playoffs, isn't it fun? Isn't it fun? I mean, would you like to be in Boston right now, where they have like nothing to look forward to? I mean, the Red Sox are in last place, and the 2 winter teams are out of the playoffs already. I mean, they're looking forward. Those people up in B-Town looking forward to the stinking Patriots starting the season. That's how desperate they are. Patriots are a good team, but hey, you know what? When our teams are doing well and they're in the playoffs, everybody smiles. I was at that great Collinsville Italian bakery Saturday to see my friend Steve. What a great place. What a beloved, iconic place. I said before, when I die, I want my ashes sprinkled in different places. One place being the parking lot of the Collinsville Italian bakery. I don't think they'd let Holly spread my ashes inside of the bakery. I think they would do. But out in the parking lot, fine. That way I know I'm going to get a lot of visitors. uh, it's an iconic place, isn't it? I love it. I love the food there. I got a slice of their ice cream cake, which I still have for dessert tonight. Creamsicle, the vanilla and the orange food. So, why did I do that? I don't know. Uh, oh, I know. I know. Everybody was smiling. That's what my friend Steve said, who runs co-owner of the Collegeville Italian Bakery. Everybody's smiling. They come in, get a sliced pizza, get a hoagie. Everybody's smiling because Sixers are in the playoffs, Flyers are in the playoffs, Phillies Eagles, fly, go fly, go birds. And the community bonds together. You see people wearing their Flyers team, right? Which they normally don't do. You see people even wearing Sixer shirts and hats. People come together. It doesn't matter what political party you belong to. It doesn't matter what race, religion, whatever. People come together when your local sports teams are doing well and they're winning in the playoffs. So, you can't ever think sports is useless. Oh, it's a hobby. Yeah, it doesn't do that. All these athletes get all this money. You're paying your money for the gear and the tickets and blah, 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 blah. No, it's more than it's more than sports brings people together like nothing else. When we're all rooting for the same team together, we're watching those bars and restaurants were packed over the weekend. The businesses get better business, more customers. People are happy. They're having drinks together. They're eating together. They're having parties at home, right? Watch parties. It is just amazing how the community comes together. The mayor may make a bet with the mayor of New York, or something, cheesecake, again, Philly pretzels or whatever. Uh, it's just fun. It's a fun time of the year. And when your teams are in it, unlike Boston, uh, it brings people together. So you got to enjoy it because you could be like Boston and have a down year when nobody's in the playoffs and there's no hope. So that's the key thing, enjoy it while it's here. Just like life, enjoy it while it's here. All right, everybody, peace and love. Good luck. We got a trifecta tonight. What are you going to watch? I don't have one of these split screen things. I'm not wealthy. So I'm just going to be using the remote, go back and forth, back and forth. Phillies, Sixers, Flyers. Checking my phone so that if I'm watching the Sixers, I'm checking all the Flyers on the phone. Then I'm looking for the score of the Phillies, right? Back and forth. And this goes on from like 7:30, 7 o'clock until like 11 at night. But it's a lot. And all week long, we're going to have a game on. After tonight, it's going to go, every other day, Flyers, Sixers, because both teams are coming home. They can't play at the same time, right? They could play on the same day, but so you're gonna have a rotation later this week. Sixers, Flyers, Sixers, Flyers, Sixers, Flyers. Every other night. So that's going to be so much fun. I can't. So go Phillies. Take 3 out of 4 from the fish. Fry those fish. Go Flyers. I expect this to be a long series, Flyers. The guy wins tonight, so you can even up the series. You lose tonight, it's not looking too good. Down 2-0, coming home. Sixers, steal a game up in New York. Show those people. Show those people up there. I love Michael J. Fox, but like Spike Lee, no, 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 no. Ben Stiller, no. Michael Strahan, no, no, no. Show those people, Sixers, what real basketball is like. Because they're going to come down and invade. All the Spike Lee, he'll have, of course, sites. They're all going to come down like cockroaches. They're going to come down later in the week, down the Jersey Turnpike, and they're going to invade. And they're going to try to take over the Xfinity Center or whatever the hell they call it. You know? And we can't let it happen. We got to take the game, maybe even 2 games up there to make it a little less, give us a little cushion. Yeah. But I'll be on this week. I'll be on. There's a lot to talk about, and I'll be on. So, everybody have a great day. Have a great night, especially. Go Phillies, Flyers, and Sixers tonight. Go Birds too, just for the hell of it. Peace and love. I'll see you soon. Bye. Yeah, may the force be with you. Hello, everything.